Okay, so today we are going to be sketching an orchid. I will be using two reference photos. You can find the link to them in the video description. And the reason I'm going to be using two is because I found one image which I really like the orchid itself, and then the other image where I like the colors. So I'm going to mix and match. So I'm just going to start sketching my orchid. First of all, what I want to do is I want to kind of map it out a little bit, just to have an idea where everything goes. And because I do it straight in the pen, there is really not that much margin for error here. So I'm just mark the edges, the overall size and shape, and now I'm going to go a little bit more further in the detail. So I'm gonna start with those. I don't actually have any knowledge of botanics, so I don't know what any of these things that I'm sketching now, I don't know what they're called. So you can maybe look up some botanical illustration if you are interested in the names. But obviously we wanted to kind of be lifelike. And then it's quite a simple shape actually. I think when you think about orchid, you kind of always think that it must be quite complicated, but it's actually quite simple because the shape is almost flat. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of those characteristic veins, because in sketching I always like to apply as much detail as possible with my pen, and then it means that just a quick wash of watercolor will be enough to create a nice and lively sketch without needing to apply too many layers of paint and kind of make it all tired and lifeless. So okay, I'm happy with this. I just need to finish some other details that I have here. Some and it's almost there. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible, but it's a sketch, so I am giving myself quite a lot of artistic license here. I want it to be recognizable, but I'm not too worried about, you know, exact shape. Okay, so I finished with the drawing and I am going straight into paint. So the original photo, this orchid was white, but I actually wanted yellow, so I found another one which is yellow. So in watercolor we want to start with the lighter colors first and then add darker ones after. And the center of it is almost like dark red wine color with a little bit of purple, so I'm just going to do that. And I'm not too worried that this color run into yellow, because that's actually how it looks. It gets a little bit of the thread through the yellow. And I'm gonna leave it for the moment. I'm gonna do the rest of the composition, and then I'm gonna go back into the flower and add some shadows. Just a quick wash here, and it's a kind of browny greenish color for the stalks. Again, I'm using one brush for everything. Just make sure, if you do that your brush can create a pointy edge for the detail. And I'm not exactly sure yet if I want to add some background. I probably will want to, but first I'm going to add some shadows to my flowers. Just a little bit, not too much. Just some little detail in here. It's not a botanical illustration, it's just a sketch, so I'm not gonna go in too much of a detail. Just some more shadows here. Again, always thinking where the light is coming from and where it doesn't reach, so that we can make an informed decision on what we are doing. Okay, so just a little more detail on my center. And I think that's about as much as I'm going to do with the flowers themselves. And I think I want to add a little background, so I'm thinking like a dark turquoise color for that. So I'm mixing some blues and some greens, but I don't want it to be too bright, so I might add a little bit of gray, brown, something like that. see how it works. Yeah. I'm happy with this color, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little background, maybe a little more blue here. Ideally in watercolor I like to go and do background first, but I wasn't sure this time whether I wanted to do it or not, so I kind of need to go around my shapes now. And I'm trying to leave a bit of space because they're still quite wet and I don't want them to run too much. Okay, something like that. Just finishing off the composition so that it's meaningful. And I think I'll leave it here.